Hello and welcome everyone, this is Type V3, and today we're delving into the world of high-end Transformers, starting with this Transformers masterpiece, Offshoot. Now for those confused with the character, this of course is an homage to the original G1 Target Master Firebolt, and is he worth spending $60 on? A flat black and metallic silver cover most of this double-barreled blaster, along with some red and blue highlights. The plastic molding detail is actually very minimal, but that's okay because I kind of prefer the simplistic design. Now, as a masterpiece figure, they're usually very big in terms of their scale, but this is a Target Master first, and thus he's very small. As seen here with a couple of other Transformers, he is not the biggest of figures, and you kind of question the $60 price tag at this point. However, he does make a good size for 3 3/4 inch action figures, and even though it looks kind of silly, I kind of like the look of it. Now, seeing as how Masterpiece Offshoot is a gun, there's not really many features to be had in this mode. I mean, you can sort of adjust the handle, but that's not really going to help you. And I guess you can adjust the barrel, but then that just looks like a broken firearm, so I don't really know if there's any real gimmick in this mode. Thankfully, in the box, he does come with a very large accessory that helps him with displaying options. A very large robot who shares most of his design cues with the popular Mega Man character Proto Man comes as the first accessory. Now, he's not that great of a toy, but whatever, he can hold Offshoot like it's not an issue. Actually, that's a lie too, he can barely hold Offshoot as it is. However, when the stars align and you get these guys posed together, they can look pretty darn cool. That's assuming you can pose them though, because you see, the red helmeted robot suffers from very finicky ratchet joints, a body that just doesn't want to hold together, and misaligned feet which make him one of the most impossible figures to stand in a natural state. Of course, this isn't about him, this is about Offshoot, and let's just check out how he transforms. The theme behind the transformation of this guy is actually pretty simple. It basically consists of pulling each limb away from the core body, and that's really it. It's intuitive, it's easy, and there's absolutely no way you can get this one wrong. When you finish, you end up with probably one of the most badass looking mini-bots there is in the world's Transformers. Now, Offshoot's paint scheme is definitely a lot more varied in his robot mode, and the additional orange detailing in his chest is a nice touch. If I have any sorts of complaints, it'd be that I wish his face was painted all red and not just his visor, but it's a small little detail that I can overlook. Now, even though he is small, he still seemingly towers over other smaller Transformers and little figures, and I absolutely love the silhouette of this robot. It's very accurate to a G1 looking Transformer, and that's something that I think a lot of people would appreciate. Now, even though this guy is small, Offshoot still has some pretty awesome articulation. For starters, his head is a swivel. No ball joint, but it is a swivel. It's kind of loose, too, so you can just keep spinning around like it's not an issue. The shoulders are each on ball joints there that also are attached to a hinge from transformation, so a lot of good posability options there. Double jointed elbows, which is almost rare to see on a figure this small. Ball jointed hips, and a ball-jointed knee. He also has an ab crunch that is just barely there out of transformation, so that's pretty cool. I don't really like how the backs of his legs are hollowed out. This is mostly to accommodate the transformation, but it does make him a lot more top-heavy, and kind of makes him hard to stand, but that's okay. And his backpack isn't all that intrusive either, so pretty good for a figure this tiny. Now, the impressiveness of Offshoot's articulation really stands out when you compare him with other figures of the same size. For example, put alongside this bot shot, it's just incredible to see the type of moves he could pull off. And almost kind of makes you wish that other figures this small had the same sort of posability. Now, in the box, Offshoot also comes with another accessory, and that is a gun. Now, he's not supposed to be holding this, but if you're very creative, you can actually get him to hold it quite well, and I think it actually looks better with him than the robot that it was meant to hold. Speaking of that Proto Man wannabe, after probably one of the worst transformations ever conceived, he actually ends up becoming a hot rod of sorts, which is perfectly in scale with Offshoot, and this is probably my favorite feature. Definitely looks like this is his sort of ride or vehicle, and I absolutely love the way these two look together. Now I know you're thinking, can Offshoot ride inside the car? Well, when you open up the cockpit, you'll find that the seats are incredibly small and filled in by this figure's foot, so no, you can't. Look at that. Look how big he is compared to that, which kind of makes you think, geez, how big is this car really in comparison to its driver? Just ridiculous. Now, Offshoot isn't a figure for everyone, especially if you're a real stickler for scale and don't collect masterpiece figures. So looking at alternatives, we have the Fans Project Sidearm, which is probably the figure that'll fit in most with your deluxe class toys. And although he's not quite as awesome in terms of articulation or paint scheme, he does have a gun mode, and he does have an acceptable robot mode and a red face, which is the most important feature. But I still think Offshoot's the way to go if you're looking for an homage to G1 Fireball. At the end of the day, your decision to buy this guy will be solely dependent on if you like the accessories he comes with. And you know what? If you don't, then just sell them off and you'll probably make back most of the cost anyway. Anyways, thanks for watching. This has been Type V3, and I'll see you guys next time.